Okay, well, I've got three members of the Blue Yellows with me, and they are...
Jonathan.
Emma.
And David.
And they're releasing their new EP, both on Spotify, which came out on the 12th, and today they're doing a sort of live session about it. And tell me a little bit about the band itself. How did it start?
Well, me and Emma know each other from years back, and we were actually in a band many years ago called the Apple Cores, and we lost touch with each other. Emma went travelling and joined a circus and something, I don't know, did all sorts of things, and then bumped into, well, she saw me years later crossing the road, but fortunately didn't run me over, and then she emailed me and talked about getting a band together, and after lots of different, twists and turns, it became the beginning of what is the Blue Yellows.
So were you travelling in the circus?
Yeah, I did join the circus for a while, actually, yeah. I think that was a bit later than when I initially went off travelling, but I spent quite a bit of time going here, there and everywhere. But settled now, and I think we've been doing the Blue Yellows for, it's got to be 15 years. Is that right?
Something like that. I try not to think about it really, because I feel like this is it. We're just getting going, we're just starting, But yeah, it has been. We're quite a slow-moving ship, I think. We're sort of we're steadily move forwards, and it takes. We've all got big commitments outside of the band, so it takes a while for us to move.
It's like an oil tanker, isn't it? It takes us a while to sort of decide which direction we're going in. Then when we do get there, it's full steam ahead, and this sort of thing. But yeah, so
Dave, you've been with us for 8 years, maybe. Yeah.
I'm the new kid on the block, so I came in to replace Hayley when Hayley had to leave, and been here ever since. Yeah, they can't get rid of me now. So I'm a bit like a bad rash,
Well, you are the drummer with the band, aren't you? So.
Well, that's it. Yes, the driver. Yeah, the engine.
That's it. Let's go back to this sort of circus thing. Where were you doing circus with who?
Started off Edinburgh Fringe, so I just went up for the summer just to join the Gandhi Circus, the local circus that was up there. We had 2 big tops on the meadows, and we had a Colombian circus there. We had the Ladyboys of Bangkok, so I did end up stage managing them and going off to Ireland and different places. I went quite a few places. Went to Hong Kong with them as well, which was amazing. So yeah, I had quite a fun time.
Was that backstage or was it performing?
Definitely not performing, that was backstage, yeah. Stage manager and running around doing props and all things like that for ice shows and things. So yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I know Binky Beaumont who ran them, because I used to be on stage with his mum many years ago.
Really?
So big connections all round. I was just checking it was Gandhi Circus and not some rival one.
One of our rehearsals, if you can hear some of the things we say on our rehearsals, get up to. But one of my rehearsals, I was trying to remember the name of this comedy act that I really loved from years ago, and it was the League Against Tedium, and I finally remembered the name of it, and I said, oh yeah, it was the League Against Tedium, and Emma said, oh, I've got a pair of his underpants.
Do we need to go there or not? I don't know.
Everybody who went to the show has a pair of his underpants.
Oh right, okay.
It's got his face on the front of them.
I should hope so.
Just part of
We'll leave it there.
history that is the Blue Yellows, isn't it?
That's it. As I say, you've been around for quite a while as a band, but have you been recording since you started as a band?
Yeah, I think it's sort of part of the thing with the band that you have times when you have more gigs, usually in the summer, and then you have the times when you've built up, some songs you've been creating maybe during the winter, and you want to get them recorded, and we've always tried to do that as soon as possible. to get that feel from it that you initially get. We've played it for a bit, but it's fresh, and we really want to get this down and recorded, and we've worked with quite a lot of different producers, and so that we've had different feels on quite a lot of the albums that we've had, really, because of that. Sometimes we've done the recording ourselves, that's had, mixed results with that one, but sometimes we've gone into the studio and worked with some really great producers, so we've really,
because it's a lot easier now to do recordings, certainly on your own. I've got a little studio myself at home with a mixer and things, and Audacity and things, and it's good. Is that sort of how you go about doing it these days?
Occasionally it can be, yeah. I mean, we had to do that during lockdown, didn't we, for the kitchen sessions, where we recorded tracks individually, and then we got an engineer to sort of sound and mix them up. Jose did a good job on that, but it is tricky sometimes, just for the logistics of life as much as anything. I think we've all got full-time jobs and families and this sort of thing, so trying to get everybody on the same page isn't always as straightforward. It's like herding wasps, we try and get everybody together when we can, but when we do, we always seem to manage to pull something out of the hat, and of course this EP is a demonstration of that, so we're quite pleased with it.
With your lockdown kitchen sessions, did you have a sort of click track, as they call it, to sort of keep in time with everybody else, or should we not go there?
No, I'm not a fan of click tracks. I'm an organic player. I don't mean organ player. That's Emma's job, but more organic. So I listen for what's been played, and I just find click tracks extremely restrictive. And proscribed. I think I can play to them, but it's not my favourite way. I play from the heart rather than from the head, so I'd rather not use them. So of course, we speed up, we slow down, but we have that organic sound that is most definitely the Blue Yellows. I'm not saying we do that on all the tracks. What I'm saying is that when it does happen, it's not always a bad thing. So.
It's always difficult. If you're in a studio all together and you've got backing tracks and everything, then you're great. But if you're doing it online, if you like, and doing it that way, it's difficult to sort of keep knowing what everybody else has done, and hopefully you've all got the same speed of recording as you had in something else. But let's go back to the very beginning, because you're called the Blue Yellows. Why?
It's a long story. There were a few names that we were thinking of. One was, what was some of the names? The Ferns, I think Emma came up with. There was the Four Cups that Sam came up with. There was, I was trying to think of the name, but there was another one that I quite like the sound of, but I can't actually remember it now. And believe it, I was out on the bus and I was texting the band saying, make sure, because it'd been going on for weeks and weeks with no name. I thought, we've got gigs coming up, we need a name. In fact, we did a gig without a name, and I don't know what Jonathan Tarpley and guests or something, I don't know, but we did one gig without a name, and then so we need a name, and so and there was an artist behind me on the back seat of the bus talking to his friend very enthusiastically, talking about a painting he's doing, an oil painting, and he said it's all blues, and he was talking about the emotion of it, and he was talking about Bob Dylan as well and music, and he said it's all blues and yellows. And as I was texting them, I said, come up with anything, come up with 3 suggestions the next time, here's my 3, and I heard him say that and just said the Blue Yellows, and that ended up being the one. I think Emma said one of your friends really, really liked that one, and that ended up being it. Yeah. Because we put it out on social media, which do you prefer, sort of thing. We weren't necessarily going to go with the most popular, but if it might help us decide. And Emma had this feedback from a friend of hers. Yeah, so that's what we did. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you've got quite a few singles out there. One which is on the new EP is After the Morrow Moon, which we play quite a lot on Salt Towns Radio. Feels Like Sunshine, No Tobacco, recently deleted, and Toast of the Night. And you've got your sort of EPs. Who writes all the music and things like that? They're pointing.
Well, I mean, I write the initial I write the initial song, and then I bring it to the and kind of audition it to the band, and then I'm very nervous. That's the most nervous I ever am, auditioning a song to the band, because if I like it enough to want to audition it to them, I'm hoping they'll like it, and then they do their own thing with it. They turn it into something else, that it would not be the same. People sometimes, if I ever play solo, which isn't very often these days, but people say, oh, you're going to do some Blue Yellow songs, and there's some I can do on my own, but a lot of them, without what they've done, what they've turned that song into, they take it in another direction. It becomes something else with these guys. So it's, in that sense, it's sort of co-written, really. I come up with the initial song, and then it develops, and it develops over time as well.
The final product is very collaborative, isn't it? And we all add those little bits in and little flavours, and we'll be playing it one way for a couple of weeks, and somebody will say, "Oh, I've got a great idea. Can we just try this or try that?" And then that gets absorbed into it. So until they actually get laid down on tracks, they're forever evolving, which is a good thing, I think, and it helps evolve our structure and our flavour and our taste, if you like, as well, while we're playing. So it is an evolutionary process, I think, much of the time.
It's not an unusual thing. I know the Beatles back in the sort of 60s and things like that, they'd spend 2 or 3 days working on a song. They'd have the basic song by John Lennon or Paul McCartney, and they'd all throw in something including George Martin and sort of say, how's this going to work? So it is very much a collaborative thing. Let's talk about some of the songs, because you've got this new EP that's come out, and you can probably tell me a little bit about them. The Stronger You Love, the first track, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very riff-based rock song, I guess. So originally, going back a few months, we were talking about what we'd record and stuff, and I remember thinking and saying to the gang, I want people to be reminded that we are a rock band as well as the other things we are, and not have too much, because often our really laid back songs are often most popular ones, but I want to remind them, that we can rock as well, and so that ended up on there. It's a very riff based thing, and it's about, I suppose, about the duality of you can only be hurt so badly if you love someone that much. You know what I mean? It's like it's like pleasure and pain. Pleasure. Can't speak. Pleasure and pain. Yeah, yin and yang sort of thing of life. That it's better to feel so hurt, or if it means you've loved a lot. You know what I mean? It's like, if you don't, the alternative is just to feel bland all the time.
But it is a high energy piece, and it's loads of fun to play. So that is the good thing about it, because quite a few of our songs, like you said, can be very laid back. But this one is a punchy one. It's fun to play. It's in your face. Yeah.
And we did a nice version of it the other week, didn't we? We did a jazz lounge version of it, just to see how it would sound. And we all came away thinking, actually, that wasn't half bad. Should we put that on the next album, sort of thing? So we do play with it, we do experiment, and we have a lot of fun while we're doing it. And I think that's what keeps us together as mates, isn't it? Is that we do have a lot of fun with it all. So
I don't think any song is about. Well, I don't know about some songs, but no song is about one thing. Like there's a whole hodgepodge of things going on with that song. There's a whole load of different just disjointed imagery and stuff like that. It's to do with lots of things that, ask me in 2 years, I might know more about what it's about then, But yeah,
we'll talk to you in a couple of years and find out what it's really about.
That's one of the nice things about music, isn't it? It's entirely subjective, and it depends entirely upon the interpretation of the listener very often, and they will put their own stories to it and their own ideas about where it came from, and that works, and we're fine with that.
Track is Funk 23.
Ask Dave about that, because
it was the first time we played it, and I thought this has got a ring to it. I couldn't think what it was, but the way we were playing it at the time, it reminded me a lot of Funk 49 by the James Gang, going back several years with Joe Walsh on vocals and this sort of thing. And I thought, well, it's 1923, let's just call it Funk 23, because we were struggling for it. 2023, yeah. I'm old, humour me. So yeah, 2023. I just look that old. All right, you can stop laughing now, Emma. And we were pushed for a title for it, so I just said, well, why not Funk 23? And they all went, yeah, okay, that's pretty good. And it has got quite a funk sound beat to it, so we just ran with that. But yeah, it's actually liberated from a Joe Walsh number when he was with the James Gang called Funk 49. So
Don't worry about forgetting years. You know, I do a lot of history stuff, and the other day I wrote a news report and put down 1879. So,
it's not just me, then.
It's not just you, no, it's everybody.
No, right. This is our 102nd year of performing, and we're still
going
grinding
strong.
away.
I wish I could fall.
It's I don't know where it came from, to be honest with you, but it's like a completely different departure for us. It's like a really jazzy, how would you describe it? Like a lounge lizardy jazz song, yeah. But I love what these guys, what we all do with it. You know, it's like, who would think we would play a song like that and record a song like that? But yeah, it's like a lounge lizardy. It's about like platonic love, you know, like when you really love somebody who is of the gender that you're normally really attracted to, but without the sexual thing, you know, if you like. It's like really, it's a celebration of that, I suppose, more than anything else. Yeah.
A watercolor in the rain blurs the color.
Deleted? Is that one you weren't going to put on the album?
Yeah, I actually wrote that back during COVID times, and I lost a couple of people close to me. But that's the only thing it's about. It's also about some of the fractious sort of things that are going on, that are always going on, still going on now. But you know, it's about some of the fractious environment we were in during COVID, as well as that sort of feeling of loss. So it's a real miserable one.
It's a beautiful piece of music. It's lovely, it's gentle. What I love about it is that it's very stripped back. So sometimes we're all playing all at the same time, but this one is like, you know, Jonathan brings it in, then I join in for a bit, and then I go out, Simon joins in for a bit, and then Dave comes in. It's really, really stripped back, and it's lovely just to hear all the instruments separately, and Jonathan's voice on it is amazing, and his guitar solo is just out of this world, and you do lose yourself in it. It's brilliant. Love it.
It always sort of had a ring of Santana-esqueness to it for me, particularly when we started using some of the South American instruments, and it very, very quietly in the background on the percussive side, but I think it made a lot of difference. And it's one of the few songs that we can play live that we can either give it loads on the big kit, the big drum kit, or we can play it equally as well if I'm just on the cajon. And it changes the dynamic of the song without actually changing the dynamic of the song, if that makes sense. You see what I mean? It gives it a very different flavour, but it's accepted well both ways, isn't it? People seem to like it, so yeah.
The track that, as I said earlier, we play quite a lot on Salt Towns Radio is After the Morrow Moon, which is a firm favourite, I know, with Dave Roberts, who plays it all the time and so on. How did that come about, and what is the Morrow Moon?
I guess it's like it's about, as I sometimes explain on stage, it's about not putting off. I'm not putting off the good times in life, really, you know, and I'm really, really bad for that. So, like, you know, if I've some days off, I think, I need to work on the social media for the band, or I need to do this, I need to do that, and then there's no time to go walking in the hills, or so it's kind of like saying, you only live once, enjoy the journey, you smell the flowers along the way, and things like that.
Why do today what you can put off until tomorrow, that sort of thing, yeah.
So when I've met, Spanish people, when they say mañana, my understanding is the literal translation is tomorrow. But when Spanish people say, oh, mañana, it means, oh yeah, tomorrow. It means they'll never get around to it, really. It's kind of like that, yeah. So there's mañana.
So how did you come to write this particular song? Was it just something you were doodling with, or was it something more?
It's one of those that as soon as I started writing it, it just all came out. It was like very, very easy, very, very simple song, So, and sometimes that's the best way. Yeah. Sometimes I work on things, and if you don't get the feeling it's going to be right pretty early on, usually those songs don't last.
You end up over-egging the pudding, don't you, if you're not careful. So, and it was one of those that well, like Jonathan said, it just fell into place. I mean, I came in late to rehearsals, didn't I? You were already playing it, and I was able to get the cajon out and launch straight into it without missing a beat. And it was like, yeah, that's it. That's what we'll run with. It's one of those.
Excellent.
That's the classic Dave thing at rehearsals.
Coming in
like arriving from a long way away. We've already started a song, and then it sets up a cajon very quickly, and it suddenly elevates the whole thing, and sometimes with a new song like that, it's like, oh, it's going in that direction now, it's like, yeah.
All right, so we've discussed the album. We're obviously going to be listening to it later on, and we can play tracks off it. What about future gigs? Have you got something lined up?
Jonathan's usually the one to ask about that. I think we're hoping to do a few gigs around now. We've had the launch on Friday, the 12th. So the launch of the album. So we're definitely hoping to do some gigs soon.
Yeah, we've been offered the thing, possibly doing a similar EP based gig at Appleton Records. That might come off, but we're more focused on next year at the moment. So we've got some definite gigs booked at the Artisan Tap, back here at Tom's Tap, somewhere else that I can't remember the name, but there's various gigs. Some of them we're doing with our good friends Barn 54 from Germany. They do a massive sort of world tour, at least European tour, every year, and they really like what we do, and we're doing some them supporting us and us supporting them type gigs as part of their tour next year as well. So that's pretty exciting. We're more focused on next year, to be honest. We might do one more this year, I'm guessing, because we need to rehearse back up to a full set as well. Because a lot of non-musicians don't realise you have to rehearse. So our next gigs are probably going to be an hour and 45 minutes. So we need to get back on getting everyone together for big rehearsals for that. Yeah.
We're looking at the festival calendar as well, aren't we, to see what we can slot into there. Yeah. So we'll be hopefully on a few festivals as well, which should be good. So come and see us if you can do that.
Well, there's quite a lot. There's Middlewich, the Sandbach, Nantwich, Crewe, Congleton, all over the place. So South Cheshire's got a load of them, and hopefully we'll see you around there. Thank you very much for talking to me about the new album, and
Thank you.
We'll see you around. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
That's the voice.
Yes, Mr. Green is absolutely correct. I think that's brilliant. After the Morrow Moon by the Blue Yellows. That's the summer anthem for 2025 as far as I'm concerned. When I am old and grey and full of sleep, and people play old recordings of the Cheshire Folk Show to me, that will perk me up no end. I can guarantee it.